Jason, is speaking of the Olympics, the Olympic boxing qualification tournament happened this week in Italy, and not a great week for Armenian boxers.
No, not a great week at all. I think when it was all said and done, there were three boxers or four boxers that were in the third round. And if they were to win their bouts, they would make it to the quota bout, which would have allowed them to compete for a spot in the Olympics. But that was not the case. All of the Armenian athletes that made it to the third round ended up losing. And earlier today, I ended up reading a Facebook post from the president of the Armenian Boxing Federation, and it looks like he's trying to appeal some of those decisions by the referees. He thinks that the Armenian boxers were wrongfully done. I'm not exactly sure how far that appeal will go, but the fact remains currently at the time of recording that the Armenian boxers in that first round did not get through. I am not entirely sure how many boxers initially started. I think it's at least or nearly 10 boxers that started. None of the Armenians ended up going to the quota bouts. So
Well,
it's a bit unfortunate.
I will say this about that appeal. There's a long history of some sketchy things going on around the Olympic boxing, international boxing. So we don't have to dive into that, but there's a lot of weird stuff that's happened over the years. A lot of these fights in international boxing, the Olympic style boxing, which basically it's amateur boxing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these fights don't end in knockouts, and they're all usually left to the judges. And you can do your own research to find some of the corruption that's happened over the years in that sport.